Hello, my name is Mrs. Chalmers. Welcome to our numeracy strategy of the day. Here in Inverclyde we use various strategies to help us calculate addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. We use these strategies from primary 3 to primary 7 and beyond. Being able to add, subtract, multiply and divide in different ways is a really useful skill to have. Today we will focus on the process of subtraction, and the strategy we will use is compensating. Our learning intention is to use pictorial representations and abstract thinking to solve subtraction tasks. Remember, abstract thinking is just number sense. It's about knowing how numbers are made and being able to give reasons for the answer we get. Have you got your pencil and paper ready? If you need to pause the video and get organised, you can do that just now. Just like the bridging strategy, the compensating strategy requires us to think about what we need to do to reach a multiple of 10 or 100. How would you solve this subtraction calculation? Pause the video here, get your empty number line ready and give it a go. When you have finished, come back and we'll compare what we did. This strategy is useful for taking away numbers that are close to a multiple of 10. That is, numbers that end in a 1, 2, 8 or 9. I'm starting with 65 and I'm going to take away 30. That will make me reach 35. Actually, I've taken away too much. I was only meant to take away 29. If I've taken away 30, which is 1 too much, I need to remember to pay back 1 at the end. So I'm adding that extra 1 on, which means my answer is 36. Maybe you used a different strategy when you worked it out. Did you get the answer 36? Remember, we can use lots of different strategies to get to an answer, but today we will focus on the compensating strategy. Another way to see the compensating strategy is to look at the hundreds square. I've got the same calculation, 65 take away 29. I'm starting with 65 and I'm going to take away 10, 20, 30. I've taken away too much. I've taken away 1 extra, so now I'll need to make sure that I take a step in the other direction and pay 1 back. So I'm landing on 36. I took away 30, which was too much, so I need to make sure I add 1 more on at the end. Let's have another try at a calculation using the compensating strategy. This time the calculation is 495 take away 48. Remember to pause the video here and have a go by yourself. Pay close attention to the number 48. What might you do to that number to help you work out that calculation? I'm starting with 495 and I'm meant to take away 48, but it's easier to take away 50 and I reach 445. But because I've taken away too much, I need to think, how much did I take away? Too much. I took an extra 2 away, so I have to remember to pay back that 2. 445, pay back the 2, lands me at 447. Did you also get the answer of 447? Did you do it the same way I did? Or did you use a different strategy? or did you use a different set of numbers? Let's have another look at the compensating strategy, but this time let's look at it in a slightly different way. Last time we did it this way, 495, take off 50 and pay back 2. If we round up the 48 to 50 by adding on 2, then we could also add the 2 onto the 495 to make 497 before we even start the calculation. So instead of having 495 take away 50, we could have 497 take away 50, and that would make sure we got to the answer 447. We wouldn't have anything left to pay back at the end. 495 take away 48 works out exactly the same as 497 take away 50. We call this a constant difference. Maybe you could try that way. Let's have another go then. 571 take away 259. It's a slightly more challenging one this time. I hope you're ready for it. Pause the video and have a go for yourself. Starting at 571, I'm going to take away 260 instead of 259. It's just one more than 259. I get to the answer 311, but because I've taken away an extra one, what will I have to do? I need to remember to pay back that extra one. So my answer is actually 312. Or the other way to look at compensation is to change the starting number and keep the constant difference. Let's have a look. Instead of 571, let's make it 572. That's just one more than 571. Then I can take away my 260 and I get the answer 312 again. Which way do you think is the most efficient way? Which way do you prefer? Make sure you think about that the next time you're doing compensating. It's now your turn to try out some subtraction problems using the compensating strategy. You can start at the first column, and if you find them too easy, remember to move on to the next column. Pause the video while you complete the task. When you have finished, remember to share your work with your teacher. You will also find another activity after this page and a link to an online game so that you can practice your subtraction skills. Good luck! This activity isn't a subtraction activity, but it uses complements to 100, which gets used a lot in lots of our different strategies. So I thought it would be a useful activity to include. It's a bingo game. The first thing you have to do is to make your bingo grid. Draw a 3x3 grid on a piece of paper and write any 9 numbers within that grid. Make sure the numbers though are less than 100. The caller calls out a number, and in a regular game of bingo, if you have the number that matches, then you would colour or circle that number. However, we're not playing regular bingo. We're playing complements to 100 or pairs to 100. So if I was to call out the number 72, you wouldn't look to see if you had 72 on your grid. You would look to see if you had 28 on your grid, because that's what helps 72 to reach 100. 72 and 28 are complements of each other to make 100. Do you understand? I'm sure you'll have lots of fun trying. Remember, the winner would be the first person to match all of the numbers on their grid. and it can take a little bit of time. Here is another link to a website where you will be able to access lots of different subtraction games. Make sure you try out a few different ones, and don't forget to share the best ones with your friends. Maybe they'll have a recommendation for you as well. Have fun!